The ancient Zorvakian Elder Kethmos raised his crystalline hand, silencing the Galactic Council chamber. His voice, weathered by millennia, echoed through the vast hall where representatives from 200 worlds had gathered. "You mock the warnings of your predecessors," Kethmos wheezed, his 6 eyes focusing on the younger council members. "But I was there. I witnessed the rise of the humans, and I tell you now, we should fear them, not dismiss them as primitive barbarians." Commander Xylak of the Nexarian fleet scoffed, his metallic carapace gleaming under the chamber's bioluminescent lights. "Elder, with respect, humans barely mastered space travel 50 cycles ago. Their ships are crude, their weapons obsolete. They pose no threat to the established order." Kethmos turned his ancient gaze toward the holographic display showing Earth's solar system. "That is exactly what the hegemony said before they fell." On Earth, Dr. Raza Ahmed worked frantically in his laboratory, buried deep beneath the Sahara Desert. The Pakistani physicist had been recruited by the Global Defense Initiative after first contact had gone disastrously wrong. The aliens, supposedly peaceful explorers, had revealed their true intentions when they began systematically harvesting resources from the outer planets. "Fiza, run the quantum resonance calculations again," Raza called to his research partner, Dr. Fiza Malik. The brilliant engineer from Karachi had abandoned her comfortable position at the International Space Consortium to work on humanity's most desperate project. Fiza's fingers danced across the holographic interface, her brow furrowed in concentration. "The phase variance is still too unstable, Raza. If we deploy this weapon and it backfires, we could tear a hole in space-time itself." "Then we make it work," Raza replied grimly, "because if we don't, humanity won't exist to worry about space-time." 3 months earlier, the Galactic Council had delivered their ultimatum. Humanity would be relocated to designated worlds as a protected species, while Earth would be strip-mined for its rare elements. The alternative was complete annihilation. What the Council hadn't anticipated was humanity's response. Instead of cowering or accepting their fate, humans did what they had always done. Throughout history, they adapted, improvised, and fought back with everything they had. Back in the council chamber, Elder Kethmos continued his warning. "The humans have a saying, necessity is the mother of invention. When cornered, they do not merely survive, they transcend their limitations." "Impossible," declared Ambassador Vexthul, her serpentine form coiling with disdain. "Our intelligence reports show they're still using chemical propulsion and primitive nuclear fission. How could such a backward species pose any real threat?" Kethmos's ancient eyes seemed to see through time itself. "Because they do not accept the impossible. While we perfect technologies over millennia, humans leapfrog entire evolutionary steps in decades. They are reckless with discovery, fearless with experimentation. What we consider impossible, they call Tuesday." On Earth, the final preparations were underway. Raza stood before a massive device that defied conventional physics, a quantum entanglement amplifier that could theoretically affect matter across vast distances instantaneously. "Are you certain this will work?" Fiza asked, her voice betraying the exhaustion of months without proper sleep. Raza placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Nothing about this should work according to established science, but that's never stopped humans before." The device hummed to life, drawing power from fusion reactors scattered across 3 continents. In space, alien monitoring stations detected massive energy spikes emanating from Earth, but their instruments couldn't identify the source or purpose. "Contact the fleet," Commander Xylak ordered from his flagship. "The humans are attempting something. Prepare to glass their planet if necessary." But as the alien ships moved into position, something unprecedented occurred. Their weapon systems began malfunctioning, not through external sabotage, but because the very atoms in their energy cores were becoming quantum entangled with particles on Earth. Raza and Fiza watched their instruments in amazement as their impossible device began rewriting the laws of physics in a localized field that expanded outward at the speed of light. "By Allah," Fiza whispered, "we're actually doing it. We're quantum locking their technology to our planet's magnetic field." Across the galaxy, Elder Kethmos felt the disturbance in the quantum foam and knew his warnings had been ignored too long. The humans had done it again. Faced with annihilation, they had discovered something that should have taken millennia to develop. The Nexarian fleet found themselves drifting helplessly as their ship's systems shut down one by one. Their weapons couldn't fire, their engines couldn't ignite, their life support systems began failing. "This is impossible," Commander Xylac raged. "How are they doing this?" The answer came from Earth itself. Raza's voice, transmitted on all frequencies simultaneously through quantum entanglement, reached every alien ship in the solar system. "This is Dr. Raza Ahmed of Earth. Your invasion fleet is now completely dependent on our planet's quantum signature to function. Attempt to harm Earth, and your ships will cease to exist at the molecular level." Fiza activated the secondary phase of their device. "Commander Xylac, your species has mastered interstellar travel over thousands of years. Congratulations, humans just did it in 3 months, under a death sentence, with limited resources." The Galactic Council chamber erupted in chaos as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Human quantum signatures were appearing everywhere, in Nexarian space, near Zorvakian colonies, even in the heavily defended core worlds. Elder Kethmos slowly rose from his position. "I told you," he said simply. "Humans are not like us. When we encounter a wall, we find ways around it. When humans encounter a wall, they tear it down and build something better from the rubble." Within hours, human ships began materializing throughout the galaxy, not through conventional FTL travel, but through quantum tunneling that bypassed spacetime entirely. Ambassador Vex Thul stared in horror at the tactical displays. "How long do we have before they can mount a full invasion?" "You misunderstand," Kethmos replied. "Humans don't want to conquer us, they want to prove they can't be conquered. There is a difference, and it terrifies me more than any invasion ever could." From Earth, Raza transmitted one final message to the Galactic Council. "We didn't ask for this conflict. We never wanted to be your enemy, but you made one critical error in judgment. You assumed that being primitive meant being weak. Humanity has a gift for proving assumptions wrong." As the alien fleets retreated and the Galactic Council voted to recognize humanity as an equal member rather than a primitive species to be managed, Elder Kethmos settled back into his crystalline chair. His warning had been ignored, and now the galaxy would have to learn what he already knew. Humans didn't just adapt to the impossible, they made the impossible adapt to them. The age of human ascendancy had begun, not through conquest, but through the most human trait of all, refusing to accept that something couldn't be done.